Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Uh-uh.
Welcome
Such a
back.
soft voice. Hi.
Oh, I don't believe that is a soft voice, so I
Oh,
think that's deceitful, but
But it's
we'll get into
soft.
that.
we'll find out
But
by
it's
the end.
soft.
I mean, maybe, but you know what? Don't worry, we'll get there.
We'll find
But
out.
anyway, hi guys.
Hi,
Thank
welcome
you
back
for
to In
joining us again
Context. Yeah.
on another episode of In Context podcast. Anyone? My name is Joe, and
My
my
name is
madam over there.
Oluwatoyin. As always, Oluwatoyin for short.
Yeah, I already give you guys a
Is
short
is
version.
Oluwatoyin short?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Let's stop there.
And we have a
Okay.
special guest. You know, the thing is that I'm actually supposed to do the intro, and I'll do the intro, but I have a different angle to come from. I
Love
don't
it.
know. I
Love
don't know
it,
if it's
love it.
possible for us to zoom into this area
Okay.
on our guests on our guests clothing
I didn't see these. Okay.
attire. We have WTF. And I wanted to ask now, what brand is that? What brand is that? Then I realized it is personal branding. Right? Am I right or am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Oh shit.
Anyway.
No, give us the
so
full
what's the T
yeah.
for? I know I'll mention the other part, but what's the T for?
It is for Tomiwa.
Oh, and I have a
Oh.
dear friend named Tommy. Wow.
Oh wow.
Cute.
My
Okay.
brother is Tomiwa, so you know.
Sure. All right. So yes, we have WTF there, and it's not what you're thinking. It stands for our guest full name. So clearly,
And we know you thought about it because I did. I'm not going to lie. So
I did like mad, but I was like, there has to be another reason for this. But yeah, so our guest today, I find out today that our guest middle name, I guess,
Yeah.
is Tomiwa. So that's Williams, Tomiwa Fatayo. To you.
He's
So
clapping
yes.
for himself by himself. Okay.
See, one thing about you have to be able to blow your own horn.
Allowed.
See,
It's
come on now,
allowed.
it doesn't
It's
make
allowed.
sense. You can't
I
abandon ship.
see you. But don't worry, we'll still clap for you. But love that you were clapping for yourself. For you now.
See, he started the clapping to be forward is before because if I read the bio out, you
I
now
get it.
understand why the clapping had to happen.
Wahala.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
So Williams Fatayo is a proven multi-potentialite.
Interesting.
I was a little worried that I was going to bite my tongue because that's what my God is bigger. He has spent the last decade of his life across engineering, sales, brand and marketing comms, logistics, and entrepreneurship.
Only you.
Williams currently serves as the CEO at TruQ, where they are building the operating system and financial infrastructure for commercial fleets in Africa, empowering logistics drivers, vehicle owners, and operators with the tools and financing to digitize and grow their businesses, and connecting them with anyone who needs them to help them make more money. Now,
Gay.
this is long and short of it is that
Gay.
they
That's
are
serious.
fixing or they are solving the logistics issue in Africa. And it's funny because I know you don't know me on a personal level, but I'm actually a customer.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I've actually used TruQ quite a couple times.
Interesting.
I run a gifts curation concierge business, and sometimes when I have like corporate clients and stuff, I would hire TruQ. I hire TruQ to send out like a ton.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Exactly.
You could have started with that when you reached out.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough, but I didn't want to.
Yes, now.
It's
So how will
like,
you not be
let's-
surprised here?
I wanted to do it based on merits. Do you get?
Okay.
So which means that my proposal worked.
Yeah, it was.
You see.
brought
And
the
also,
cat out of the bag.
I've also used for personal reasons, like moving houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've recommended as well.
Thank you so
So yes,
much.
that's I'm excited.
Don't worry, your next move will be for free.
Ooh.
That's one in context discount.
Okay, it's on TV.
It's giving
It's
that you
on
should
TV.
find new house
Let it
now.
not be.
Oh.
Let it not be that.
Joe, is your new house not on the way like this now?
No, my
Yeah,
mansion.
now.
My
Yes,
mansion.
that's just it. As the movie said to the house will soon be here. Love it. Now, You know that we usually do research on this podcast. We research a lot.
Okay.
So we were just, scrolling through your social profile, just
Mhm.
scrolling.
You saw, you saw where they were dragging me.
We
to
saw
there.
that
You love
you tweet. Good, we love founders that tweet. Very good. Now, our question for you is a very simple one.
It's just an icebreaker.
Nothing too much, but if you could invent a new holiday,
New
what would it be called?
He knows why we asked.
And how would people celebrate it? And you have to invent the holiday.
You know what? Before you answer it,
Let's
tell
give
them
you
why
context.
we asked you that question.
Let's give you context. Speak to the people.
If you could invent a new public holiday, and you're not allowed to say no.
Yes, sir.
So, backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Not so long ago, I was dragged for about 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter because I said the country is too broke for the number of holidays we get.
Good.
Broke people don't rest.
Good. Very what?
According
Very
to Nicki
good.
Minaj, broke people should never laugh.
See?
God.
We have our own Nigerian version here. But on this podcast, you will create a new holiday for the people.
Okay.
Plus the ones that we have already.
Yes.
You cannot escape it to hot seats like this.
Yes.
I hope your fingers are starting to feel warm.
Yes. And how will they celebrate it? Because they will not just have holiday, they will even have celebration with it.
Yes. How will you implement it in TruQ?
Right?
Wow, this is a setup. Sha.
Yes.
We planned for it. You don't worry. It's not by mistake. Tell us.
A new holiday.
Yes, no.
And you have many options, though. Many. Nigeria is a very multi-religious country.
No, I think if I will invent a new holiday,
You know, go do
it won't
religion.
be religion affiliated.
Yeah,
It'll be
tell us
something
now.
generic. Maybe World Heartbreak Day.
You have not broken your heart tonight, Stella. Wow, that's a shocker.
Wait, do you know it's funny? Because he didn't even say National Heartbreak Day. He's a world.
It says justice for the heartbroken people.
Just stay at home and mourn all of your
You are so real
heartbreaks.
for that.
Wow, I mean, you get it. I get it.
But if
Sha.
you've not been heartbroken, please come
Okay.
to work. Please come to work. If you've not been
Your own
heartbroken.
must
So how will
always
you
have-
verify?
Everybody cannot get holiday in his own regime. That's his plan.
Make up my band up. That's it. So
Okay, try and give us the one that everybody will be at. You don't want people to stay at home
No, that one is fine.
with their family.
That one is fine. If you've not been heartbroken, come to work. But if you suffered a heartbreak,
have you been heartbroken?
yeah,
You've been heartbroken.
That's why you are
will sit on
advocating
duty
for
while
it
your
now.
staff are resuming work.
I'm supposed to enjoy the holiday.
Oh, I see.
You don't mean it.
Like, shocker. Wow.
Okay.
I
Okay,
see.
I need to go. You're setting me up here.
Fair. Okay. You try. I mean,
enough.
I relate to why there will be a need for that holiday. How will people celebrate it? It's also forgot that.
The heartbreaker is supposed to send a gift to the heartbroken
Real.
on that National or World Heartbreak Day.
Every year, Abi.
Yes.
You are so innovative.
Remind them.
I have to stand.
WTF for president.
WT.
You broke my heart, but you pay for it every year.
Actually, that's the literal definition of paying for
Do
it.
you understand?
Exactly.
That's good.
I
Thank
love
you
it.
very
That's
much.
a good one. No? You see? And he's good at giving holidays. So now, why are you still against?
I'm surprised I came up with that
You
just
see?
now.
It's giving innovator.
See, no, but question, serious question. Was it not fun thinking about holiday?
Oh,
Like, see the smile on your face.
oh.
No, look at the joy all over
Cutting
you
me
now.
4K, like the camera is cutting you fully.
Let me tell you, the next time he tweets that, I'll just go
You
and
go
cut a
just
clip
cut
from this
No,
podcast and drop it
I've
there.
reduced all my tweets.
Ew.
You are revamping your public identity.
No. That dragon is too much.
Sorry.
Okay. Now let's talk about your career so far.
Yes, so
You've had a very diverse career, right? How did you start out? Because when I was reading your bio, I was just like, so many places, man.
Yeah.
You talked about sales, marketing. I know that sales is a core function of being a CEO. I
Yeah.
understand that. But there's marketing. The niche or the industry you're currently like really focused on is logistics. Like, this potpourri of experiences, how did we get here?
Okay. So back in my finals in school, I tried to launch a company. We built the solution before we discovered that there was no customer for it.
Ah,
So
that
it's packed
happens.
up shop.
Real.
But by the time I was leaving school, with a resolve to go learn and then give it another shot. About 8 days after my finals, I resumed with a multinational. It's a tech multinational of
Drop
some
names
sort.
now. Give us tea
Tell
now. Why are you
us
doing like this?
now.
I resumed with Microsoft Nigeria.
Oh, what you
doing
were trying to do, Humble. Tell us.
I resumed on a first it was a user adoption role, then it evolved into a sales role, and I enjoyed a bit of that. And I got bored of it at some point, curious because I think what it was I had fragments of things that I knew I needed to learn before I could give it another shot. So the next thing that I wanted to do was now I know how to sell offline.
Yeah.
Let's go learn how to sell online.
Online.
So I went to start as an intern again on a brand and marketing comms team with an agency.
After working in Microsoft.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes.
Then from there, I joined Women Bank just around the time when Alert was launched.
Oh, this is a long time ago because, like, my church that I grew up in, actually, like, when Alert launched, they literally sent some, I don't know, salespeople or
Yeah.
representatives to come, to the church and
It
stuff.
was a lot of activations.
It's a long time ago. Damn.
But what that gave me was the practical exposure of one, taking a new product to the market and then doing all of those selling online. So that role started very much as a purely digital role. Then just not so long into it, it was now my job to be managing all of the bank's events and activations nationwide. What that means was there was a lot of moving stuff around.
Yeah.
You have 4, 5 back-to-back events from Calabar to Ilorin to Abuja and all of that. You need to send stuff ahead before you even get there, so those events go smoothly. It was crazy. It was a very crazy experience.
Yeah.
You struggle to find vehicles, struggle with pricing, struggle with everything. Driver will load, disappear, then you send another vehicle. The second vehicle will get there first before the one that left prior. So it was a very shitty experience. But all of that was now what led me to sort of dig into what exactly is the problem there, because the vehicles are out there, so why don't I get them when I need them? So what we started with was building a platform that connects anyone with logistic needs to the closest vehicle, and all of that, and that picked up pretty fast. Sorry.
That's true.
And that was how I transitioned from brand and marketing comms into logistics.
Right.
Immediately it launched. I was still at Women Bank when it launched. Immediately it picked up. I resigned, went to a proper fintech that was just about launching. Okay, so people had done all of the groundwork at Alert before I got there. Now I want to take one to the market as the head of the marketing team.
Okay.
So I joined that fintech as the head of the marketing team. Got it to launch, got it to about 100, 150K in MRR.
Okay.
And then I think in the middle of all of that, the management saw TruQ on my LinkedIn, said no employees allowed to have a side hustle.
Right.
So I had to choose between their job or my company. They gave me about a month to think about it. I resigned that same day.
You said nothing like that. No need for the thinking.
I resigned that same day, and it's been 5 years running now doing TruQ, and I've not looked back ever since.
So you were so confident that TruQ.
He clearly was.
I think
He must have said WTF when they told him that.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't
That's
say.
a good one.
Sorry, I just had to speak it.
That's a good one.
I wouldn't say I was absolutely sure, but what's the worst that could happen? Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I think that was the ginger. At least the worst has not happened yet, so we still
Look, I'm such a fan of the journey because wow, like one thing that really stands out to me is his willingness to go back to the basics.
Yeah, like
oh yeah, I've
that's
been,
insane.
sipping coffee in like this big fancy office, but man, I'm noticing that I have a skill gap here or maybe a knowledge gap here. I'm willing to go and sit down in a kiosk
Yeah.
in the sun and go and, understudy that.
I think
I
it's
think
because you
so
had
cool.
an idea, like already from the failure of the first one in school. You
And
already
the
knew
place
that I need
needed
to
yeah, the place that
Yeah.
needed to be
plug
there.
this. That's so cool. But like you said, a number of places that you've worked in and stuff like that. What's the longest you've stayed at a company?
About 2-3 years.
Like 3
Yeah,
years max.
yeah, just a little over 2 years. Not all.
Where was this one?
I think I spent my longest time at Wema Bank.
I see. I
That
see.
was the place I worked.
And what
longest.
prompted you to leave Wema Bank? Because you wanted to go to the new fintech.
When my company launched,
Mm.
when my company launched, I started picking momentum. That was go-to-market experiences, practical ones that I needed, and I could go gamble with it with
It's
my
your-
own business. But I just thought if I could find something that is yet to hit the market and then work with them to get into the
You
market,
decided to use them as your experiment,
Yeah,
the
and-
guinea pig.
and it worked.
Fair
It
enough.
worked well for both of us.
Fair enough. That was a gamble, but you try. Fair enough. So now you're already a founder. You have opened your own company.
I think so.
What do you mean?
Please and please.
5
beg
years.
you.
I don't get.
Actually, not even just a founder, a two-time founder, according to the story.
Yeah. 5 years. You say you didn't
Will
think
you
so.
count that first one?
No, yes.
Okay.
You must count your wins as well, or your successes as well as your failures. It all adds up.
Fair enough.
Philosopher,
See,
you must.
let me tell you.
You must count your
See,
things.
some of us are wise. let me not talk too much.
Fair. So what does, now as a founder, right, what does company loyalty mean to you, like from your employees?
Company loyalty
Yeah.
is mutual benefits. I'm rubbing your back, you're rubbing mine. And by rubbing both our backs, it's not about the payroll or the salaries. It's about there's a vision that the business needs to achieve that I'm helping it fulfill.
Okay.
There's a personal ambition that I have for myself outside of the job or job title that the business is fueling silently or either directly or indirectly. So as long as that mutual equilibrium is established, I think we deserve each other's loyalty.
Deserve? Is that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because
Using language, or you know what?
yeah,
Let me provide context.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Let that be
Use the
conversation in context.
So when TruQ was still an idea on paper,
Yeah.
my line manager or my departmental boss then was very aware of it. And Funlayo would always buy me books to read on when you're launching a business. She would introduce me to senior managers within our network that have been there, done that. Talk to this, my boy. He's thinking about something and all of that. Throughout that period, even till today, if Funlayo tells me jump, I will ask her how I. By the time I was going to leave, she understood that the practical experiences that you need to make this thing work, you can get here. We are a big company where to get an approval for one new feature would take
bureaucracy.
you would take like 3-6 months. First, it needs to go to legal, go to compliance, go to internal control, and all of that. And the whole flex of a startup is to move fast.
Yeah.
So she just wanted me. She supported the whole idea of you can get some really practical experience somewhere else and all of that. And even after sorry. And even after I stopped working with her, she was still fueling my journey in ways that you can't imagine. So I don't know. She might not think she deserves my loyalty, but I think she does. Till tomorrow. Till tomorrow. I'm still a boy till tomorrow.
Because she poured so much into
Make
you.
TruQ IPO say I'm still from Lions boy.
You see the way you drop it like that, like there maybe very soon there's plan for TruQ to IPO.
It's called Hinting.
Just drop it.
Sorry, you can actually just look at this camera and just wink.
Anyway, we'll have the picture of this so that when you people go
Let's
to
see.
IPO, we'll just know that we were there
I was there.
right before it
Foundational
happened. You get
witness.
You guys did it first.
Okay.
yes.
So, what would you say are some key indicators that show that a company deserves loyalty from its employees? And also I want you to kind of look at it as a two-edged question. So you can give us that and also give us some red flags that should help an employee, calculate the risk of, dying on the line for this company. I know that as a founder, you want to be diplomatic, but you've worked for
Do you
people.
get? That's why we started with your experience. So that's why we started.
Try and flip. Okay, wear shoe of employee on one leg and wear shoe of employer on another leg. Answer the question.
Okay. So before I go into this question, I think the previous one I only spoke about why I think my former employer deserved my loyalty. But I think when Alert needed to really break into campuses, I built what we call Alert on Campus store of some sorts, taking the brand across several campuses. It shot up acquisition in multiple folds. And it really drove all of the numbers that the business needed. It wasn't necessary that it should be done, would have figured out somewhere else, but it was just one of those things of applying yourself to the job and all of that. So now back to this question. First, a company is so big that a company cannot really... Remember when I said, what is the very basis of company loyalty? It is mutual benefit. But the company can be so big sometimes that the business itself may not be able to fuel individual employees' ambition the way it needs to be attended to. So businesses that are smart enough to structure themselves such that it becomes a responsibility of line managers to understand what are the individual motivations and ambitions of my downlines. And beyond KPIs and OKRs, what can I put in place that fuels into all of that? Those companies are the ones that get to enjoy the most loyalty. Shola of Paystack was talking somewhere a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that I think his first 8 employees are still at Paystack till now.
Oh,
that's insane retention.
Till now.
I think one of them spoke at GrowthCon last year. Actually,
What's her name?
Yes, I don't remember her name, but I was in her panel.
Yeah. She was. They are still at Paystack till now. They didn't stay because no one else came to toast them. In fact, across the ecosystem,
of course, people would have come to toast them.
Across the ecosystem right now, you can't poach a Paystack employee.
Yes,
not because
they're living. They're going.
Even if you have
outside.
money, even if you have money, you can't poach a Paystack
like where are they
employee.
going to after Paystack in
exactly.
Nigeria? Yeah.
So first, it's the business setting up itself and enabling its line managers to really, really help it execute on this. That's on the business side. On the employee side, I think your responsibility as an employee, or my responsibility as an employee, goes beyond just meeting KPIs. I used to tell our people at TruQ that if we had it all figured out, then we probably would not need as much people around. You're here because there are lots of things that we don't have figured out, that let's join our
collective brains.
Let's join our minds together, the depth of it all together to execute in this direction. And all of that is as granular as what can be better. This is the KPI that they gave me. I've met it. What can be better? This is what this business is trying to achieve. We've achieved it, we've not achieved it. What can be better?
Right.
And it's as simple and it's as technical. But in this, between both sides of this divide, if things are done properly, if things are done as intentionally as they need to be done, I think there's nothing that would say we should not be able to stick with each other for the long haul. But because as long as your own personal ambition have been fueled, personal
Yes.
ambitions have been
Yes.
fueled, and the business vision is being achieved just because of how much you're able to apply yourself. The business is growing, you're feeling fulfilled
Yeah.
in all of the things that excites you. Everybody is winning. We're good. I think the most frequent job offers are the 30 days make a pay guys.
30 days what?
30 days make a pay.
Okay.
Whether I do my job or not,
Oh,
whether
yeah,
my
yeah,
KPIs get done,
Yeah.
just 27th of the month, just wire me my own
Yeah.
money.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I added any value to your business this month or
Yeah.
My
not.
own
I
Isha,
get
let
that.
money enter.
I get that.
And when they are bored of, okay, I'm on 700K this month, I need to hit 1.2 million.
Just move.
Who is hiring next to?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now, sometimes you check, you get there, yeah, they're supposed to promote me in 2 months and I'll be on 1.5. So if you want to hire me, you need to either match that or just tell stories around. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. But okay, I think you've answered the question, even though it wasn't like too on the nose. But by saying that one of the really important things to look out for is mutual benefits in terms of I as an employer, an employee should be looking out for what does growth look like for me here.
Yes.
On the flip side, it implies that if I don't see that pathway, then it's a valid conversation to have as to
That
whether I should be exiting this place
Yes.
or not.
Yes. Yes. And super important. And growth is, there is career growth.
Yes.
There is also growth around every other thing that you're just passionate about
Yes.
and you care about. And like I said, it's the business that is intentional enough to structure things appropriately, enable its line managers to really support its employees as much as possible. That gets to unlock
Enjoy them,
unlock
yeah.
this part
Yeah.
of value.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But like also in the sense of truck, how do you guys do that? Like in like practical examples.
So I have about 6 different managers across engineering, sales and revenue, growth, business operations, across board. I lead one of those divisions.
Okay.
But I think our engineering team has been like the most, if I'm going to score them around this, our engineering team has been on in like a 90-95%.
Oh wow.
Michael leads that team. I saw the version of some engineering talent that came into TruQ. I was involved in most of those hiring processes. And then years down the line, I see
The
what
difference.
some of those guys look like now.
Yeah.
That Michael would always tell me that, oh, more, these people are now bad. These people are now bad. Like, they have evolved not just as engineers, but how. And you know, it's easy for an engineer to say, I'm just here to write the code. But for an engineer to look at, okay, this feature is coming, or we have all of these features, or we have all of these things in the pipeline. How does it change the game for us based on what we know that the business vision is? That kind of well-rounded thought process to doing your engineering work.
Yes.
I'm grateful for a lot of those guys. Some of them have been here for 3. We didn't start hiring until we didn't start hiring that much until early 2021 or late 2021, or in 2022. And there are guys that have been here since, those first crop of guys that are still there till now, evolved in their individuality and in their core skill sets. And it's just beautiful to see. Guys that started just writing 1 or 2 languages, and now they are so fast. Guys that thought, okay, this is what I do, but this is where I see myself in 3 to 5 years. And their line manager have been able to sort of fuel all of that. And 5 years down the line or 3 years down the line, they're actually a version of what they imagined 10 years ago for themselves. I think it's really beautiful. On the growth side, there's a guy on our marketing team called Samuel. That guy was just a visual designer when he came in. Now I think he's now a one-man agency. If you understand what that means.
Yeah,
Is that badass? And I think that's one of those things that being in a startup just gives you. It helps you apply yourself and test a lot of things yourself.
Actually.
So I won't sit here and tell you it's perfect.
Yeah.
Still a work in progress, but I think we are getting a lot of things right.
Yeah.
We definitely are.
I definitely can say that I have benefited from a line manager being truly invested in me as a person versus just, oh, like you on the job.
Yeah.
Very important. It was, I took my one-on-one seriously. I feel like I don't know whether it's a chicken and egg situation, because I don't know if it was because my line manager was just genuinely curious that I was then invested, or if it was because I was excited about an opportunity to talk to my line manager, that my maybe line manager then got curious about
Right
me.
about you,
But I remember that the meetings will often start off with, "Oh, how are you?" Because typically it's the line manager that's is asking the questions in the beginning, and it will be like, "How's your week been?" Blah blah blah, and I will talk, and then next thing I'll be like, "Yeah, but forget about me. Tell me how you've been too." Right? And there was a rapport that was built, and this is the story of how I actually moved into marketing. Right? I started off at PiggyVest in support, actually. And then somewhere along the line, I moved to finance, customer finance. And then I was there for about 6 months. And it was in the time where I was in finance that like my new manager was just like amazing, right? All my one-on-ones and stuff. And questions about growth will look, okay, what does growth look like for you? And I would always say I had a very strong media background before I started in support. But after NYSC now, it's like, Omo, these people want to pay me this amount. Like, they want to give me a job. Sure, let's start from here first. I don't want to be without a job. Like, I didn't even wait a bit. I didn't miss a bit. Passed out, went straight to, start working, right? But when you're asking me questions, I'm like, look at my trajectory, right? It's been intentional. Through university, I was consistently, doing internships at Channels TV, Galaxy, like all of these places, right?
So that foundation
Yeah,
was there.
exactly. So I kept saying, if there's an opportunity for me to do media work,
I'll jump
then
on
I
it.
will. But if I don't know that there's an opportunity here in the company, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I see it, I'm out. Like, do you get? And I used to have that conversation, and so my line manager would say, okay, let's see, like if there's anything that opens up within marketing, because that's where you get to express media and creativity in that sense, right? I will let you know. And really, that was it. It was like an overnight thing. One minute she says, oh, the marketing team is working on this big campaign. It was the first Big Brother campaign. And it was like, oh yeah, I'll tell Josh, like, to hear you out and see if you'll be a fit, if there's anything that the team needs assistance with. And she was like, one day she calls me and she says, oh, I spoke to Josh about it. He'll message him and let him know that you're following up. And so I did. And then he was like, okay, sure. And then one day he randomly messages me, sends the pitch deck from our ad agency that day, and says, oh, what are your thoughts? So I went back to my degree.
You thought about it.
I went to activate my degree. And I looked at the script and I was like, I was reading it and I was like, this is beautiful. But I just had one question. I think I had two questions, but I think a really important one that stuck out to Josh was I had asked him, I flagged something in the script. It was something about PiggyVest being like a accountability partner. But the picture of the woman or the character in the ad was actually supposed to be like a bigger woman, and who was jogging, and she was passing by a store that had like cakes and whatever, and got distracted. And so like there was this like thing, like character, that then kind of like took our attention back, like, focus, we have to, and I was like, great idea, sounds good, but I think this could be potentially a social media nightmare. Because people that are big, it's not just an indisciplined thing. Do you get? It's not just like some people have PCOS. Some people are just full of like big boned, like so many factors. And I said, this is a valid scenario that could really happen in real life, but because this is a presentation of what you think PiggyVest is doing, there's a question. And social media conversations, the context is always expanded on social media beyond the scope of what you were trying to discuss, right? And so I was like, are we sure about that? And honestly, it was such a, like, that was it. So initially it was just, oh, you volunteer with the marketing team. Once I sent my feedback, Josh was like, wait,
Where do you say you work?
what are you doing
Which
on the finance team? Like, he was like, what are you
Love
doing on the
it.
finance team?
Love it.
And I was like, because I remember, and I actually, this is me. I was like, Josh, do you remember that time that we were having a meeting last year and you were saying you guys were working on an ad? I was telling you that you should include me. He was like, when? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm coming back. Let me get to Odu. And then he called Odu and then he explained to Odu that, like, I think, like, I would want Joanna to work on this campaign with us, seriously, like not just like as you volunteer your extra time type thing. Let's see what we can get. And honestly, it's very funny, but really at the end of it, like, it sounds silly, but Josh point blank told me we need someone that will make our our media, like our media messages, woke compliant. And I know it sounds silly, but it's important.
Woke compliance is actually a thing.
It's a very big thing because
it is
so
it
important.
can catch fire at any point. Like
Yeah.
social media is so volatile.
Yeah. So that was the story of how I kind of like ended up in marketing without even intending to. But yeah, like
Because of a good manager that listens to
yes,
you.
I was
That
able to
makes
say my
perfect
name
sense.
where, an opportunity opened
It
up.
does make
Again,
perfect sense.
completely loyal. Well, you would see why you would tune towards that person
Yes,
and you want to
yes.
stay in that company because you know
Yeah.
that at the core of your mind, at the back of your mind, you can already tell that they're listening to you and they're trying to
Yes.
get the best
And that
from you.
as soon as you make a
I see
compelling
that.
case, they are willing to, like, if there's an opportunity, they will. Like, they'll open that door for you. So
And there are different points for those conversations to happen. In your case, it happens while you were already in the business.
yeah.
But I think the biggest time for you to establish this is during the interview process. Most of us think of interview processes. I'm just trying to get the highest pay possible, and all of that. But it's also a bit of establishing this is where I'm going. Can you help me get there or not?
That's such a practical thing to
This
keep
is this
note
is
of.
where I'm going to. How will you help me get there?
Yeah.
Not just the entire conversation, not just the conversation about how much will you pay me, how much you want, how much will you, and negotiating on salaries. I think your biggest win in a business is less about your take home per month, but how it helps you on the long term.
Your career
How does
journey,
it get you to where you need to get to? If you have both, you're good. Everybody wins.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I do think though that for a people who live in such a capitalist environment, I think conversations around prioritizing money can be a little, I'm sorry, like a little bit pretentious. Just a little bit.
because some people are more
I understand
rich.
what you're saying about, like, oh, like, can the company meet your bottom line? It's just like sometimes someone just knows that, like, nothing in 9 to 5 lifestyle can meet my own personal bottom line. Do you get? So the only thing I can optimize for, like, you hear people say this, I just want to stack up money so I can live the life I actually want afterwards. And so sometimes that's what they choose to optimize for. That is what is meaningful for the lives that they want to live, right? So that, I guess, from there you can kind of draw a sort of perspective on the cases people make for job hopping. But anyway, before we go that,
You don't jump
Yes.
to the job hop. Relax. Okay, so we're going to go into more icebreakers because you must laugh with us now. Yes.
Voila.
See, have I not been making you laugh?
There's-
Sorry,
there's
I'm committed to
another-
getting every guest on this show to say women are funny. So
Yeah.
say it.
He has said it now. Did not say it.
No, it's not. He
I'll
hasn't
say
said
it. I'll say it at the end of the podcast.
No,
No.
you scam. Yeah, it's scam. Oh my god.
Founder.
No, say it now.
Say it now.
I'm saying this under duress.
We go cut that first part
But
out.
women are funny.
Thank you. Look at the laughter. Very honest. See how radiant.
We'll cut out that first part, Sha. That's what we need to tell you. So it's just rapid fire. Tell us quick.
You're not allowed to think about just as they say it, as the spirit leads. Pick.
But I want to give you small suspense. So that's pensive music. It's not that deep. It's never that deep. Okay, yeah. Work alone or work in a team? Your ideal environment?
Work in a team.
Same.
Okay.
That's us too, right?
Yes, no.
Yeah, the two of us.
Always. Always. Spotify or YouTube music?
YouTube music.
You're fast too.
You're rapid though.
Watch a game at home or in the stadium?
In the stadium.
Why?
Tell us.
Why? You don't want to watch at home with your family?
No, in the stadium with family now. How are you doing that?
Can you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
all the angles from the stadium?
It's just more exciting.
Yeah.
Fair. Sha. I'm just giving you a hard time because obviously you want to watch in the stadium.
Do you often go to watch a game here in Lagos?
Yeah, Sporting
Sporting
Lagos
I
is
knew,
my
do you know, I
club.
knew. Actually, when they said you go to Sporting, I was like, let me not ask the question before you say no, and then it will not be like, ah. But
Sporting Lagos is my club.
Shout out to Sporting Lagos. So
shout out.
see us now. See us in camera.
We'll be next season. We'll come out. Okay, let me just keep quiet.
Sneakers or shoes?
Sneakers.
Really? That's surprising to me. I'd have thought you'd pick shoes. Okay.
I wear shoes out of necessity.
Really?
Let me just. Can I tell them? When he came, he was like, I saw him with his slippers, and then he was like, do you need me to wear shoes? I was like, oh no, you're good with your slipper. He was like, yeah, because my shoes are in the car. In case you need it. I was like, don't stress yourself.
Shoes out of
Slippers is fine.
necessity.
Okay. So night or morning sprint?
Night sprint.
Night. A night owl.
Yeah.
Going all the way into the night.
So, like, what are your okay, sprint? Okay, sorry. Do you know that I've entered TGIF mode. I went back. So they say, what are your favorite spots to hang out?
Sprint.
But I'm an
These babes.
Allow.
but I'm an
But
outsider.
as you're about to say it now,
But are you an
let's
outside
just
person?
hear.
Yes, what it is that either every 2 or 4 weeks, I schedule myself to be outside.
Oh, it's true. I saw on was it your story today that you guys gave yourself a challenge not to go out
won't
every
I
Friday?
won't go out for the next 4 weeks. So
It's the schedule for me.
It's go hard for about 2-4 weeks, then just find one day to go ball. Go hard for another 4 weeks, then go ball once and all of that. It's fun.
That's nice.
This,
So love it.
this is a founder's idea of work-life balance. Work-life balance.
They are scheduling it.
One day of fun for like 50 days of hardship.
It is what it is.
Well, they chose the life. This is the life they chose. That's right. Playlist or podcast, and there's only one answer in this.
Gone.
Podcast under duress.
Good. What do you stop adding that part?
Okay, give your honest answer.
She looks like she will shoot me.
Me, I actually heard you gone up
Do you
to
understand? I was conscious of like making God sign. Now I know put them up. I didn't mean I know now.
I didn't mean I know you now. Okay, but what's your real answer, Drew?
I do podcast in the car or when I'm trying to sort of engage my brain while I'm not engaging my brain.
Okay.
Yeah. So podcasts just go register information in your subconscious and all of that.
So that brings me to my next question. Actually, this question I had before the rapid fire segment, but I was saying that different people have different things they want out of life, right? And I think that it's a little bit disingenuous to act like people who want to optimize for financial growth above anything else in their career journey is I don't know. I think it's a bit problematic. I don't know if it's problematic, but it's just like, are you really saying you don't know why that's what some people are optimizing for? You get? So for me, I want to talk. I mean, there's actually a tweet. Let me pull this tweet up for you. So this guy, his handle is actually the Job Father, and he did a thread about how he actually advocates for job hopping. He says, as a job hopper, I was never afraid of an interview asking me about my job hopping. I actually looked forward to it. I always had to prepare myself for how to answer questions as to why I did. And then he goes on to explain, how provide a script for answering that question. And which means that I think the table is divided on this, where, for some people, it seems like it's more beneficial than anything else. And then for some other people, it seems like the conversation is
Staying loyal. Staying loyal.
Yes, it's just like if at a point it starts to feel like, do employers think that they are entitled to employees' loyalty because chasing after money is just not as noble?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I want to hear your perspective on that.
Are you laughing because you are guilty?
Do you want me to be honest?
No, yes,
Or
please.
do you want
Please
me
be
to avoid
honest.
dragging?
Be honest.
See, no worry, nobody will drag you. We'll post it on YouTube.
Okay.
You are giving that assurance. But honestly, the best policy. So
Don't
just go
put
with
me outside though, but
just
nobody will
go with
drag you.
honesty. Go with honesty.
So, to each their own, right?
Yeah.
If money is what
Drives
excites you,
Yeah.
if money is what drives you, then it's all right.
Mm.
And it's also important that you disclose all of this personal motivation. You're giving me a job now. I can wake up in 6 months' time, and tell you I'm going somewhere else.
I should tell the employer.
Yes.
That is not what the job father says.
That's where I draw the line, right? Because at the beginning of the year, we go to company retreat, we sit down and say, this is what we need to achieve this year. Every division breaks it down into, this is my part to help us achieve it. I used to ask my managers every year at the beginning of our management retreat that, is somebody toasting you right now, you might leave this year, please let me know. Like, please let me know. So I know that as I'm planning this stuff, I'm not planning from a place of just close out on strategy and trust that
these people
she
will take it.
She will take it on and go execute. But trust that she will execute while she's here. And to get to a point that you have to take it up from her and continue from there. So I'm not going to just look away. I want to be involved in a lot of what you are doing. So by the time you dump it on my desk, pending when we get a new person, the ball does not drop regardless.
But is that always your disposition? Because you said that if you're about to hire somebody and you know that in the next 6 months they are going to leave, will you still hire that person?
What I'm saying is that disclose.
If I disclose, it means that you're not going to help me.
You don't hire me, then what's the point of me disclosing?
So there are some businesses that know how to optimize for short-term value. That at least you can do this work.
But it's not you, Abby. It's not.
It's like he's not having it.
It's not me. And it's important from a place of, if you want to job up, please go and work with multinationals or established companies. They won't feel it when you leave. But when you come to a startup where people have invested 2, 3, 4 years of their lives to get it to a point, and they are bringing you on because to us to get to that next point, you believe that the value that you have can help us get there. Then you come and 3 months in, you say you're going to somewhere else because you want to go and make extra 300K or 400K. I feel it's not just it's just not noble. I feel it's distasteful. Don't work with startups.
You can hear the disdain.
Don't work with startups. If you leave a company like GTB and you just do 3 months at GTB, 3 months at SS Bank, 3 months at UBA, nobody will feel it. But when you work at a new company that has not even found, that is trying to tinker around what exactly is our rocket ship, what exactly is going to get us to that $1 million in ARR, what will get us to $10 million in ARR, then you come in and then you ghost.
You have a valid point. I can.
Don't take startup jobs. And I'm saying this to anybody that if you know you want to job up, it's all right. It's all right to optimize for your salary. Nobody's judging you for it. But don't work at startups. Startups are trying to figure their shit out. Don't come and take your unfigured shit and dump it into their...
Oh my God, you're so real.
When we said be honest, or more, it was honest.
No, I love it, actually. But you know what? I do appreciate that perspective because I think it's okay for you to say, I want to optimize for money. I mean, listening to you now, it's okay to optimize for increments in salary periodically. It's okay for you to say, okay, this is how I want to do it. So it's like, what is the path, I would say, of least resistance? What is the path of least destruction? So maybe we can attempt to be strategic about where we then aim to work. So that the collateral damage in this process isn't as but I think there's also a deeper conversation which we will not have, which is honestly basically concern capitalism and empathy. But
wow.
Sorry, love,
but I digress.
Wow.
That's
another side. But truly, if I think also that it could also impact you positively if you are this mindful about it as a job hopper, because you then don't have too many people in your lying in your wake who cared too much when you left.
Yeah.
That have negative things to say.
Yeah.
About
especially in
you.
a closed setting like
Yes.
the tech ecosystem.
Because it's just like if they didn't care that much, the most they will, do you know Joanna? Yeah, I know her. She worked with me for blah blah blah.
Nah,
But
she
if
just
the
moved on.
stakes were way too high, you have too many bad tastes.
bad
Yes,
energy
yes,
behind
following you
you.
around. So I
Fair.
think that's a consideration to have. And I don't think it's a thing so much about, okay, don't job hop or not.
It's
Whatever you
alright.
choose to optimize for is the valid choice,
absolutely
because we're all
alright.
just trying to survive.
It
It's
just
alright.
depends on the context.
Yes,
It's alright.
yes.
And you can. I think another thing is work with startups. Even if you want to work with startups, and money is a big motivation. I said something earlier about I want to go for this international tech conference. What do I need to achieve for you
Yeah,
to sponsor it for me?
yeah.
So I'm coming in at a 500K salary, but I'm planning in my mind that by the end of this year,
I'll get this amount of
I want to
value.
get to like 900K, 1 million naira in salary.
Yeah.
What
What
are the
do
things
I
that I
do?
need to achieve for you to be paying me 1 million naira by December? When you and I sit down and have that conversation, that if this and this are achieved, you will get. I would personally commit to fighting for this and getting you this. It's a different conversation entirely. That money you will get it, but at least you and I have established what needs to be done for you to get it. Because to be sincere with you, it's very unlikely that you will come into a startup and in the space of 1 year you will go from 500K to 1 million.
Yes,
naira.
yes.
It's very unlikely. But if you are able to batter it out,
Yeah.
if you are that valuable, leverage it.
I think this is just showing people more that you still have a say
You still do.
in like what can happen.
You still
Yeah.
do.
Especially because startups are also not as rigid as a lot of us. So you don't need to go to like 1 million approvals
You don't.
before your salary increases.
Just talk to the CEO. CEO, I know I can. You want to get to $10,000 in monthly revenue. You want to get to $30,000 in monthly revenue. I'm coming as your head of sales. I can get you to 25 in the space of 4 months. But I want my salary to be this at the end of that 4th month, the moment it's achieved. I'll be stupid to not take that deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it
think
also
it
means
also
being
still ties
valued.
to overall company bottom line. What are they? I think
Company
a lot of the
value,
conversations
yeah.
we've been having this season have really just been around really like thinking. I think I said it some other time that you need to switch from seeing yourself as a hand or as the hands or the legs in the company to now thinking of yourself as a component of the brain
Yes.
in the company.
Yes.
And this is where you then begin to translate that value.
Yeah,
in that
and they
sense.
see you as such. Very
Yeah.
important context. I mean, sometimes I do be side-eyeing founders, but like you explaining it this way is also like, they're really burning.
But I
money.
think a really important thing though is that sometimes founders
Yeah, I mean that
founders
one
sound entitled sometimes.
There's
Like,
that.
we don't like to admit it, but like sometimes it's just your growls doesn't really seem like, okay, for example, you know that there's no world. I mean, as a founder, based on how much you have, either you're bootstrapped, you've raised, whatever, there's no way that anybody's pay grade will fall just for you, fall into 1 million per month. Just the way the company is structured right now. You have a valuable staff, and the staff has been doing the work, blah, 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 and it's now saying, you know what, I'm not going to lie, based on the way that my life is going, I'm about to marry. My wife to be is already pregnant. We have a baby on the way. Blah blah blah. These are some things I have to consider, and because of that, I have to leave. There's a trivializing of that choice where it's like, so just because of ordinary. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like let's be careful about that, because in the end, the founder also wants to make money.
Yeah. That's why
Like
the business
the same thing you are doing is what your employees are doing.
You are not allowed to trivialize anybody's motivation.
Yeah.
First, you don't know their story.
Yeah.
You don't know where they are coming from.
Yeah.
So you are not allowed to trivialize their motivation. What you want to do is understand their context, and like you said, find the least part of
The part of least
destruction.
destruction.
The part of least destruction around it. I can't judge you because you need to earn this kind of amount to be able to survive the next phase of your life. I can't. What I would not be happy with if you cost me too much
Yes, in the
because
process of
of
doing that.
in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And what it means again, if you cause so much destruction that you are now putting the jobs of everyone else at risk, because we trusted that you will do your part, so that all of our parts will matter
Yeah.
to get to the next milestone. Now you are just living just for your own selfish reason, and you don't care if
Sorry.
every other 20 other people lose their job or the company dies because your part was not there to complete it. I try to avoid one man risk, but sometimes in startups you can't avoid it.
Yes, I've said this thing all like a
You
lot of
can't
the
avoid,
times
and if
that there has to be a way. I'm sorry, but I don't know, but there has to be a way for intellectual asset to be shared in reasonable degree across. Like you must have a doppelganger or a stunt double.
It's
Like we
hard.
have
Your
to
own
try.
person,
I know it's
yeah.
hard, but like I feel like as a company, maybe one of your core values should be to optimize for that, because you run into issues like this and you also run into the risk, apart from you feeling like okay maybe you lose them, you also run into the risk of someone wielding unnecessary power,
Yes.
Yep.
like where
Yes.
it shouldn't be,
It's hard, Sha, especially when
and
you
also
don't
the
have,
person burning out
yeah,
unnecessarily.
it's hard, especially if you don't have that much money. So what I've started doing now is I have a downline of each line manager join the core team call.
Okay,
So
so that
that
they are understudying
you're
basically.
not, you might not even have to say anything, but when you
Just
understand how your
be
line manager is
there.
having conversations
Yes,
across
yeah.
several things, you begin to understudy and all of that.
Yes,
And
yeah.
and I kind of it gives that downline a perspective such that when the line manager is maybe down sick or last to leave or anything, might not be at the same level,
But
you can still
yeah,
plug and
yeah,
play and all of that. Yeah.
What me I'm hearing in this conversation is that like on both sides, so both the employee and the founder side and the employer side, is that there needs to be a lot more empathy around the whole
Your
job
conversation, yeah.
hopping or complete loyalty.
Yes.
Like people have valid reasons
Yes.
on
Yes,
most
on
on
both
both
sides,
sides.
yeah.
So yeah, fair
The issue is
enough.
that employees think they are the only ones that deserve empathy, and this one is just a company.
well,
It's just this company is not a human being.
I mean, me being mostly an employee all my life, I wouldn't agree completely with that. I think what happens though is that when we've had, beware of the danger of a single story. When we've been so entrenched in a specific experience for so long, we really do think that it's as generalizable as we think. Like it's just like, oh, like what you just said, employees think they're the only ones that deserve empathy. I don't think so. I see it a lot of the times where people will be like, I want to quit, but like I committed to this particular project. Let me wait.
Yes.
So it's not true.
I take back that statement because
It's both sides
I've been
too.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
been
unfortunately,
exactly.
because you've been a founder for the last 5 years, you forgot what it meant.
Yes,
to
And
be
that
an
happens.
employee.
Well,
Yes.
sorry to
In
you
fact,
guys,
I've
but it
experienced
happens a
employees
lot.
showing me empathy too.
Yes,
I've
exactly.
experienced employees
It
showing me
happens.
empathy. So I take that back.
Yeah. It's just that it's a human thing that
Yeah.
when you are in your own experience, you think this
That
is the
was-
reality on ground, and it's
yeah.
not like it
Perspective.
is so generalizable that maybe nothing else matters in
Yes,
that moment.
yes.
Which is why conversations are important to
Are very
snap you
important,
back
yes. Yeah.
out of it sometimes. Fair enough.
I think the sum of it all is communicate and be open. This is what motivates me. Me, I don't care about
I'm sure I'll never tell you my
C
whoever is
zero.
interviewing me that it's money. Although it's money.
Bro, HR literally tells you don't say that. I beg
Don't
you.
say that.
How you say
Or if you know it's your motivation, please don't take startup
There's a
jobs.
script actually. I don't know. Maybe when we post this video,
Don't take startup jobs.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Sorry. So we're neither here nor there. But I think what we can do is that in the description, like of the when we post this video, we should put a link for the job hoppers.
just in case you need a
Take
little push.
Williams' advice. Optimize for companies that will not feel your absence when you go, and then now use the scripts from this job man.
Yeah,
What's his
to
name?
help
Easy
yourself
for
just in
them.
case
The
you need
job
to.
father.
for
Because
them.
also,
In case you need
also,
yes.
they're not I don't want to say there are not a lot of companies, but you can't always expect that all companies are
Will give
optimizing to help their employees achieve
That's what you need
their
to
own
figure. That's
personal.
what you need. That's
Yeah,
what you should
so
figure out
before
during the
then,
interview process.
so before then,
no,
if they need to job up,
sometimes we've been bamboozled now. You enter the system. It's just like also being bamboozled by an employee
Yeah.
who performed really, really well in the interview phase, and you're just like, okay,
no be waiting cover.
wow, you can speak English, oh.
See, when you asked me how we model this stuff at truck, I gave you names of people
Yeah.
that across several scenarios. You can it's within your right during an interview. I would like to speak to
My line
one
manager.
or two employees here that have evolved
Yeah.
around this experience. I would
I
to
like
speak
the
to
way
my
you are talking
potential
about
line
this
manager.
thing, but it's because you seem level-headed as a founder. Not everybody's
Not
going
everyone,
to accept
yeah.
that I should go. They think you are too forward already.
So I think the thing, I also realize that a lot of conversations we always keep using like an all things being equal framework where like honestly sometimes
It's
it
actually
just
the
doesn't
ideal
happen.
scenario. If I'm fundraising
Yes,
now
ideal.
and I want to take money from you, I will have to speak to 2 or 3 of your portfolio companies. I need the money, but I won't take it if you have the tendency of poisoning your portfolio
Yes,
companies.
yes.
There's something they call bad money.
Yes,
When you fundraise.
Yeah.
So the money is there. I need this money. I have visualization of the money. It's there. But I still want to talk to one or two.
Just to
What's
see.
this investor like?
Yes,
Will this investor frustrate your life? I
Yes.
should know how to run.
Yes.
I'm going to look for the money somewhere else. I think it's how you have the conversation. And if you then talk to an HR person or a CEO that I would like to speak to 1 or 2 of your employees to understand what your workspace look like, and they tell you no, red flag. Oh,
yes.
You already know from the
you are
jump.
seeing it from the outside. It's you that you still decided to put your neck inside.
Well, I get it. I'm not making I'm not advocating for people like that, but sometimes things do be tough. So at the same time, I get why people might
Just take
also
avoid it.
just
Just
move.
get
Yeah.
it. You see that we are all lying to ourselves.
All things
But I'm power from our.
in an ideal scenario, you already know what
You know
to
the
do.
right
So
thing to
it's
do.
like
yeah.
more information.
And if we're honest with ourselves, we know when our employers are level-headed, they're reasonable. We know when our staff also are reasonable and stuff. And so we can always apply that grace and that deserved respect, actually.
And one thing that people also do not realize is that if you show that you are invested in your employee, they will always return it back. People are not
Yes.
stupid. People are
Yes.
not heartless.
Yes. they
But
will.
you
I
already
think
show that
you made a tweet about that, so don't worry. I'll see your tweet.
you already show that.
You made a tweet about that, yeah, sometimes. So yeah.
So
I
yes,
spent a lot of time on my Twitter timeline.
You know what?
Research.
I cannot confirm or deny those allegations.
it's research.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, that's the work now. It's our work.
Love it.
I mean, don't you think it was worth
Did
it?
you not help you?
Love it.
Did you not create a holiday?
Love it.
You see now.
And you know what? If I see you tweet, I've said it again. If you tweet against holiday,
We could just cut that part out.
I'll cut in 4K. Chakam.
Never again. Never again. Don't worry. Never again.
Interesting. This has been a beautiful, beautiful conversation.
Yes.
I think there has been a lot of context. Again, my head's always busting every time I use the name, but there has been a lot of context, and I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
Before people go, now that we've talked about some areas where you can understand job hopping and company loyalty, we also have a guide on how to move to the next level in your career. So you can check out that guide. It's called Career in Context, and it helps you map out your next journey. So please
next
check that
steps.
out. The link is in our bio, also on YouTube. So check it out.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening in. We really hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did.
Yep.
As always, we'll keep trying to bring quality conversations to your screen here on In Context. This season is proudly sponsored by All School Africa. And with that, Joe is signing out. I don't know about the rest of them, but yeah. See you
So
guys.
you won't leave us for a year or what? I don't get. Williams, are you not signing out? Sorry, WTF, are you not signing out?
WTF.
WTF.
I'm out. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.